The room was cold, silent. Everything glowed with a soft blue light. Commander Jack Lawson opened his eyes slowly. His vision was blurry. His arms and legs were strapped to a table made of smooth, silver metal. He tried to move, but his body felt heavy, like it didn't belong to him anymore. A low humming sound filled the room. Machines blinked all around him. Tubes ran into his arms. Strange symbols floated in the air above him. None of it made sense. Jack's head throbbed. His memory was broken. Flashes of battle hit him like lightning. The roar of plasma guns. A scream. A bright fire in the sky. Then silence. Then this. Where was he? He turned his head slowly to one side, breathing hard. His heartbeat echoed through the machine above him. Then he saw movement. A figure entered the room. She was tall, slender, not human, but close. Her skin was lavender, smooth like silk. Her eyes glowed softly, deep pools of silver. Her hair floated like strands of light, and her fingers were long, almost glowing. She walked without sound, like she was made of air. This was not Earth, and she was not human. Jack tried to speak, but only a low groan came out. The figure walked closer and stopped beside the table. She looked at him with curiosity, but also with care. Her voice was soft, melodic, but unfamiliar. "You are awake. You should not be yet." Jack blinked. He didn't understand the words, but he felt the meaning. Her voice wasn't just sound. It touched his mind, gently. She reached out her hand. A soft glow formed at her fingertips. Jack's muscles tensed. Her fingers touched his arm. A warm pulse shot through his body. Then everything changed. The machine next to them beeped. Once, then again, louder, faster. Her fingers glided across his skin, tracing the damaged tissue. It healed under her touch. Cells knitting together, bones pulling into place. But something else happened. Something unexpected. A sudden rush of energy moved through him. His body reacted on its own. He felt heat building in his lower body. A pressure then. The bulge began to grow between his legs. He couldn't stop it. The alien nurse froze. Her eyes widened. She looked down at where her hand touched his arm, then down to the machine that now flashed red. Her skin began to glow faintly, almost as if it reacted to his touch. Jack groaned again, louder this time. His head tilted back. Sweat rolled down his forehead. "Stop," he whispered, but it wasn't clear if he meant her or his own body. The nurse stepped back quickly, her hand pulling away, as if burned. Her chest rose and fell quickly. She looked at her palm. It glowed with light. Light from him. "This isn't possible," she whispered, but he heard her. Ilari. That was her name. The word formed in his mouth like he had always known it. "Ilari," he whispered. Her heart skipped. She looked at him, stunned. "How do you know my name?" Jack's eyes were half closed. He wasn't fully awake, but he felt something pull him toward her. Not with his body, but with something deeper. Something buried inside. Ilari backed away slowly, her breathing uneven. The machine beeped faster. His vitals were rising, but not in pain, not in fear, in desire, in connection. She looked down again at her hand, now pulsing with soft white light. She held it close to her chest. No patient had ever done this. No human had ever reacted like this. She looked at Jack with wide eyes, her lips trembling. This human. Why did my core respond to him? Illyri's hands trembled as she left the healing chamber. She walked down the glowing corridor, her soft steps silent against the crystal floor. The lights above flickered, reacting to the storm outside the station. The dying star, beyond the glass, pulsed like a heartbeat. But her thoughts were on the human, Jack Lawson. No patient had ever triggered her core before. No one had ever caused her skin to glow like that. No one had ever made her heart feel like it would break through her chest. This wasn't healing. This was something else. She entered the council chamber, where the high medic waited. His skin was pale blue, and his eyes never blinked. You stayed longer than protocol allows, he said coldly. Elari nodded, her voice low. The subject's body responded abnormally to empathic treatment. Explain. She paused. I felt ... connection. Emotion. Strong and uncontrolled. His body reacted, physically, and I reacted too. The high medic stood slowly. You were warned. Emotional contamination is dangerous, especially with humans. Their energy is chaotic. Their minds are fire. I know, she whispered. But he said my name before I told him. The room fell silent. No human should know our names, the high medic said. You must not return to him. You are to transfer the case to a non-empath. But he's waking up, she said. He's afraid. Alone. The high medic narrowed his eyes. So are you. He turned and vanished into the next room. Elari stood there, heart racing. She knew what she had to do, but she also knew she wouldn't obey. Not this time. Later that night, Elari moved silently through the empty halls. The healing chamber was dim. Jack lay on the table, no longer strapped, but still weak. His eyes were closed. His chest rose and fell slowly. She walked closer, hands shaking. Just one moment, she told herself, just to look at him. Just to understand. She sat beside him and reached out slowly. Her hand hovered over his . The room was quiet. Only the soft sound of his breathing filled the air. Then she touched his fingers. Warmth again. Instant her skin began to glow once more, but this time it was stronger, brighter. Jack stirred. His eyes opened slowly. He looked at her, confused but calm. Elari, he said. She froze. You're real. He lifted his hand and placed it over hers. I saw you in my dreams. I felt you. Elari's breath caught in her throat. She couldn't speak, couldn't move. Jack looked into her eyes. You saved me, didn't you? She nodded. I don't know how, he said softly, but your touch. It feels like home. Her eyes filled with tears. She had trained for years. Healers were not allowed to feel. Empathy was their gift, but never for themselves. Yet here he was, a human, a stranger, making her feel more alive than she ever had before. She didn't want to let go, but then a sound broke the moment, a low, sharp beep from the corner of the room. Warning, someone was watching. She stood quickly, pulled her hand away. Jack reached for her weakly. Wait, please don't go. Her heart screamed to stay, but her mind forced her to leave. She ran out of the chamber, down the glowing hall. Behind her, the machine still beeped. Jack's vitals were rising again, not in fear, but because of her. As Elari reached her private chamber, she looked down at her hand, still glowing, still warm, still alive with his touch. She whispered to herself, I wasn't supposed to feel this, but now that I have, ... how do I stop? Jack Lawson sat upright in the healing bed. His eyes scanned the walls. Smooth, silver, glowing symbols danced slowly in the air. Machines buzzed gently beside him, monitoring every breath. He touched his chest, then his arm. No wounds, no pain, just the echo of a memory. A voice, soft and strange. A touch, warm and electric. A face that didn't belong to Earth. Her name came to him again, Elari. He whispered it like a secret prayer. Elari stood in the observation room, watching him through the glass. She wasn't supposed to be there. A non-empath was assigned to his care now. A cold mechanical medic named Solon. No emotion, no risk. But Elari couldn't stay away. She watched Jack move. He stretched his limbs like someone waking from years of sleep. His muscles were stronger than expected. His vitals had stabilized days ahead of schedule. Her core pulsed every time he smiled. What had he done to her? Why couldn't she look away? Inside the chamber, Jack noticed the change. The new medic didn't speak, didn't touch, only scanned and recorded. It made Jack feel like an animal, but something inside him burned to be seen. to be understood. The only person who made him feel that, was gone. He sat back and looked up at the glass. He couldn't see through it, but he knew someone was there. "Are you watching me?" he asked softly. "Because I'm watching you too." Later that evening, Jack found a way to leave the chamber. The doors weren't locked, just gently sealed. His legs were weak but held him. He moved down the empty hallway, the lights above tracking his steps. He turned a corner and stopped. Alari stood there, frozen, her eyes wide, hands shaking. "You shouldn't be out," she said. He smiled gently. "Neither should you." A long silence stretched between them. Then Jack stepped closer. "You saved me," he said. "You touched me, and I've never felt anything like that before." Alari looked away. "It was wrong. I broke the law. I broke protocol." "I don't care about your laws," Jack said. "I care about how I feel." She looked into his eyes. "What do you feel?" she whispered. He raised his hand and touched her cheek. Their skin met. No pain, no resistance, only heat, only light. "I feel like I've known you forever," he said. Her breathing quickened. Her fingers lifted slowly and touched his chest. Their connection lit up like fire. The walls around them glowed brighter. The machine in the distance began to hum. Then something happened. Alari gasped. She stepped back and clutched her chest. "What is it?" Jack asked, moving to help her. Her body shook. Her skin shimmered, with waves of color. "My core," she whispered. "It's changing." She looked at her hands. They sparkled with golden light. "No Zelari has ever changed from a human's touch. This isn't supposed to happen." Jack held her steady. "Maybe it was always supposed to happen," he said. She looked up at him, eyes full of fear. "If we keep going, I may not be Zelari anymore." Jack leaned closer, his voice soft. "Then become something new, with me." But before she could answer, alarms blared. A voice echoed through the station. "Unauthorized contact detected. Empath Ellery report immediately." Ellery stepped away, heart pounding. "I have to go. They'll separate us." Jack grabbed her hand. "No. I just found you. I'm not losing you again." She looked into his eyes one last time. "I don't want to lose you either," she said. Then she turned and ran down the corridor, disappearing into the light. Jack stood alone, but in his hand, her warmth remained. Ellery lay in her quarters, curled up beneath a shimmering veil of light. She couldn't sleep, not since the bond. Her fingers trembled. Her skin no longer held the same color. It shimmered now, touched with faint golden streaks that pulsed to the rhythm of her heartbeat. Or was it his? Every time she closed her eyes, she felt him, his memories, his pain, his joy, his longing. The bond had formed. She hadn't meant for it, hadn't planned it, but it had happened, and now, she was changing. Across the station, Jack sat in silence. He stared through the observation window, watching the dying star burn beyond the glass. It flared like a final breath, quiet and slow. He could still feel her hand in his. He wasn't sure if it was real anymore, or something deeper. Something inside him. He remembered Earth, the war, the day he left. He remembered his fiancée, Rachel. She had cried on the launch pad, but that love felt distant now, like another lifetime. What he had with Alari was different. It wasn't built through years. It was built through something else, through pain, through touch, through soul. Alari stood before the council once again. Her glow was dimmed now, covered by a layer of robes, but the light inside her couldn't be hidden. The High Medic watched her closely. "You broke the barrier," he said. "You let the human in." "I didn't mean to," she replied softly. "But you did." They circled her like shadows. "No Zelari has ever bonded with a human. If the connection completes, your core will rewrite itself." "I know," she said. "You will no longer be one of us." "I know that too." "Then what do you choose?" Alari lifted her head. "I choose him." The chamber fell silent. Later, Ilari walked alone through the station's heart chamber. There, among the starlight and ancient relics, she found Jack, waiting. He turned when he heard her footsteps. "You came," he said. She nodded. "I told them the truth, and they told me to leave you, or lose myself." Jack stepped closer. "And what did you say?" She looked into his eyes, her voice steady. "I said, I'd rather lose myself than lose you." His hands reached out slowly. She met him halfway. Their fingers touched, and in that moment, a wave of light exploded around them. Warm, soft, alive. Ari gasped. "It's happening," she whispered. "The bond is finalizing." "What does that mean?" Jack asked, his hand brushing her cheek. She smiled, though her eyes filled with tears. "It means you're becoming a part of me, and you. I'm becoming ... human." He kissed her, gently, like it was the first and last kiss he would ever have, and the world around them went quiet. But in the shadows, others watched. High Medic Solon stared into the monitor, face cold. "She has chosen the human," he said. "Then she must face the consequences," another voice replied. Solon turned away. "Prepare the separation protocol." Back in the healing chamber, Ilari collapsed against Jack's chest. Her glow faded, her skin now fully golden. No longer Zelari, but not quite human either. Jack held her tightly. "I've got you," he whispered. She looked up at him. "I'm scared," she said. "So am I," he replied. "But we're in this together." Their hearts beat in sync, one rhythm, one bond. And somewhere deep inside her, the last spark of her old self faded away. What remained, was love. The courtroom was made of glass and light. Above it, the dying star hung low in the sky, glowing like a fading memory. Ilari stood in the center of the chamber, her golden skin exposed for all to see. She no longer glowed in soft lavender hues, like the others Ilari. Her body had changed. Her core was gone. The bond had completed. She wasn't one of them anymore, not fully, and that made her dangerous. The council stood above her in silence. No faces, no warmth, only judgment. Jack sat behind the barrier, his fists clenched, his heart pounding in his chest. He wanted to run to her, hold her, shield her from all of it, but he wasn't allowed to move. A prisoner of their system, just like her. High Medic Solon stepped forward. "Empath Ilari," he said. "You were warned, yet you chose the human." Ilari's voice was calm, though her eyes shimmered with emotion. "I didn't choose to feel. I just did. You bonded without permission. You fused your core with his biology. You've become something ... other." "I became who I truly am," she said. "Not a servant, not a function, a being, a soul, in love." The crowd murmured. The word was foreign to many of them. Love, dangerous, wild, unpredictable, human. Solon turned to the council. "There is no path back for her. Her connection with the human is permanent. The only way to protect the Zelari is to exile him." Jack stood. "Don't speak like I'm not here." The guard stepped forward, but Ilari raised her hand. "No," she said. "Let him speak." The council allowed it. Jack stepped into the center of the room, facing them all. "I didn't ask for this," he said. "I didn't force her. We connected because of who we are, because of what we feel." He turned to Ilari. "When I came here, I was broken. I didn't believe in anything anymore. But then you touched me. You looked at me like I mattered, like I wasn't just a soldier or a number. You gave me hope." He faced the council again. "And now you want to punish her for feeling something real, something beautiful. But what if the problem isn't us? ... What if the problem is you?" The chamber fell silent. Solon's voice cut through it. "Then let her prove it." He pulled a small device from his sleeve, a crystal core. glowing red. This is her essence. If she gives it up fully, she will be disconnected from the Zalari. She will be exiled. No return, no rebirth, no link to us. Ellery stepped forward, calm and strong. I will do it. Jack's eyes widened. No, Ellery, don't. She turned to him. I already gave you my heart, Jack. Now I give you my life. Solon placed the core into her hands. Ellery took a deep breath. Then she pressed it to her chest. Light exploded around her. She cried out as the core burned away. Her body trembled. Her knees hit the floor. Jack rushed to her, catching her before she fell completely. Her glow faded. Her body went still. Ellery, he whispered, please stay with me. She opened her eyes, weak but smiling. I'm here. The council looked on, unmoved. Take the human, Solon ordered. He will be returned to Earth. Alone. Jack held Ellery tightly. No, I'm not leaving without her. She has no place here anymore. She has a place with me. He said. Solon stepped forward. You don't belong together. You're too different. Jack stood up, lifting Ellery in his arms. Then maybe your world isn't ready for what we are. As the guards reached for them, a soft light sparked from Ellery's skin. Then the machines began to hum. The walls shimmered. Jack looked around. What's happening? Ellery's voice was soft. My core, ... It didn't disappear. It evolved. A shockwave spread across the chamber. Every Zalari paused. Solon staggered back, eyes wide. Ellery, he whispered. What have you become? The blast of energy shook the chamber. Ellery's body hovered in Jack's arms, glowing not with Zalari light, but something new, warmer, human. The guards fell back. The machines shut down. The council's faces went dark. Even Solon couldn't speak. Jack held her tighter as her body slowly came back down. Her skin, once lavender and cold, now shimmered with golden warmth. Ellery, Jack whispered, are you still you? She opened her eyes. Tears ran down her cheeks, and she nodded. I'm still me, but I'm not only Zalari anymore. Jack brushed her hair from her face. What are you? She looked at him and smiled. I think I'm something that's never existed before. They didn't fight the guards. There was no need. The council didn't understand what had happened, so they did what all fearful leaders do. They sent Jack away. They put him on a quiet shuttle. No weapon, no escort, just silence. They told him Earth would receive him in one standard cycle. They told him he would forget her. They didn't know humans don't forget love. The ship drifted through dark space. Jack sat alone in the quiet cabin, staring out into the stars. He pressed a finger to the glass. Somewhere out there, she still breathed. He could feel it, not in his mind, not in his heart, but deeper, like her soul had been stitched to his. He opened a small satchel and pulled out the music chip he had shown her once. Old Earth music. He pressed play. Soft guitar. Strings filled the cabin. Then her voice echoed in his memory. Your touch feels like home. Jack closed his eyes. I'm coming back for you, he whispered, but back on the station. Ellery wasn't gone. Not entirely. Her body had collapsed after the trial, but her essence, ... remained, trapped between dimensions, between frequencies of space and time. Her people couldn't understand what she had become. They thought she had died, but something inside her refused to fade, something human, on Earth. Jack didn't return to military life. He walked away from it all. The medals, the ranks, the war. He bought a small house in the mountains, quiet, still alone, but each night, he stared at the sky. He didn't just miss her, he felt her, her voice, her warmth, like a soft breeze that never left. He began building something, a machine, half based on Earth tech, half based on what he had seen on the station, a bridge, a signal, a beacon, to call her back, not through space, but through love. One night, the machine blinked just once. Then again, The air around him shifted. Jack sat forward. His heart raced. Then, across the room, the console lit up. A single word appeared. Jack. He stood, tears in his eyes. No answer. Just a soft hum. Then light. Golden, warm, and full of life. It filled the room, and out of it, a shape began to form. Not a body, not yet, but a presence, a voice. I found you. Jack stepped closer, his hand reaching out. Are you real? He whispered. The light pulsed gently. Only if you still love me. He smiled through his tears. Then you're more real than anything. The room filled with golden light. Warm, silent, alive. Jack stood in the center, breath shaking, heart pounding. He stared at the shape forming in front of him. It wasn't fully human, not fully Zalari either, but it pulsed with something deeper, something familiar. Elari, he whispered again, barely believing it. The voice returned, soft and clear. I'm here. I followed the signal. I followed you. Jack stepped closer. His hands reached out. The light wrapped gently around his fingers, like a soft wind. He could feel her now, not just see her, her thoughts, her heartbeat, her love. You came back, he said, choking on emotion. Her voice was stronger now. I never left. My body was lost, but the bond remained. You held on, and that saved me. The machine behind him began to flicker. Energy readings spiked. The bridge between dimensions was unstable. Time was running out. Can you come through? He asked. Her voice trembled. I'm not sure. My form. It's still incomplete. But if you cross over, I can stabilize. We can merge. Meld with the system. Merge with me, she said. Jack looked back at Earth, glowing in the distance. Then forward, at the golden figure that once saved his life and changed his soul. I don't belong here anymore, he said softly. I belong with you. He placed his hand over the light. I'm ready. In a burst of radiance, the room vanished, stars spun, sound faded. Then stillness. When Jack opened his eyes, he was standing under a violet sky. The air was soft and warm. The ground shimmered like glass and sand. And before him, standing in full form, was Elari, no longer alien, no longer human, but something new. Her skin golden, her eyes glowing with silver light. A perfect balance of two worlds. She smiled. You made it. Jack walked to her, tears in his eyes. You waited. They stood inches apart. No pain, no fear, just love. Real, raw, eternal. He reached for her. And this time, their hands met without limits. Their bond complete. Their story written into the stars, far above. The Zelari station detected a new frequency. One they couldn't explain. And Earth's satellites picked up signals filled with light and warmth. Not weapons. Not war. But peace to beings. Once strangers, now united. A bridge between worlds. Jack and Elari walked side by side across the glowing plains of a new planet, hand in hand. No uniforms, no boundaries, no more past, just future. Together, they said love was weakness and war, but they were wrong. Love was humanity's greatest power. It saved one soldier, it changed one healer, and it built a new world, beyond the stars.